So, we were down here. Continue down here. Oh. Well, we may as well speak to Netehe then since we're here.
Akira, we meet again.
The Ohana dignitary gives you a welcoming smile. Any ideas for retrieving the heart purple epic?
There's always Fasina, Archimede's apprentice. No love lost there if whispers are true.
Kind of dealt with her, yeah.
Archimede seems to enrage those of his inner circle, not excluding the imps.
Know about the imps as well.
Akira, I say the relevance of the Harapo epic can't be overstated. It could prove a touchstone for the Huana. It could even... Sorry, you go ahead.
Don't worry. Why is the tablet so important?
It is important to all who call the Deadfire home. I only tell you this because I know you can be trusted. The epic is supposed to contain information on Ukaizo.
Gaizo.
Nothing as dramatic as a set of coordinates, but anything helps. Stories are also important to the Huana. Much of who we are is still missing.
What could the epic tell you about Huana?
The story could speak to the values and beliefs of our ancestors.
Isn't that not what history and libraries are for?
The language structure, narrative voice, and use of metaphor can tell us something about the time of its inscription.
Touches her bottom lip and glances off to the distance.
We could even... I've lost you, haven't I?
You're getting lost.
Akira, I tend to go on.
Do you know about the epic before it fell into Akimire's hands?
Akira, from the Journal of
Like saying
Rakua,
Akira,
an explorer who found the tablet on a remote island some 20 years ago. Unfortunately for Rakua, the most we found of her was her journal among the flotsam of a shipwreck.
Flotsam of a shipwreck. Why is the Royal Deadfire Company so interested?
They think the tablet can show them,
Stops herself, weighing her words with care.
well, the way to Ukaizo.
She sighs and regards you with unease.
Akira, it's a mythical island, but that isn't stopping any of us from rushing to claim it first.
So it can't be mythical if you're saying it's not.
Akira, the
I'm just saying. Saying, folks, just saying.
My fingers be fat and furry, but they're ever so nimble.
We leaving.
You must gather
We're
your...
leaving. I could get in there. Do I have any good stealth? Three. A woman with skin like hardened sailcloth sits upright and stares off to the distance, her lips held in a tight and thoughtful pinch. She blinks and sits even straighter as you cross her view.
So, it will be you, then.
Her hand strays towards a sheath at her side, but she holds your gaze evenly.
You do not know what I talk of, Akira?
Akira,
Then I owe you an apology. I have collected many foes over the years. Some of them would sprint up the mountain to see me push through the jaws of the great eel.
she exhales and moves her hand back to her lap. Hear you?
You do not recognize the great huntress of the archipelago? Ah, the candle of infamy burns too bright and too fast.
It certainly does.
As Nungata whale splitter, I cleared the jungles and seas alike of slippery creatures. I earned my foes later when I hunted a deadlier prey.
He winks. Extremely tall woman. She's probably on about pirates. Men.
Akira, often. I was a bounty hunter.
Smiles to herself.
You're Nungata, eh? I heard you'd gone all dry up in driftwood. The sea word weren't far from the mark.
Spoken like a man who has never heard a driftwood club crack an enemy's skull.
Nagata lifts her brow at Seraphin before returning her focus to you.
It's been years since I tossed a harpoon. So now I stay abreast of what bounties need filling. That's Mataru retirement for you.
And what bounties do you have available?
Interested in taking up the trade, are we?
Oh, not really, but I do get experience, you know. Thumbs her chin and smiles as she considers.
I warn you that I deal in the heads of the exceptionally dangerous. A lady needs standards, after all.
She raises her brow and searches for any sign of hesitation. In that case, I look forward to getting started, or I assume that means they're exceptionally well priced.
You assume right, Hunter. Let's cut your teeth on clever Bena, infamous dwarf mystic of the obscured. A scavenger, I say. Picks off those who trust her for an evening, and then pockets their coin when she's bled them out.
Oh, lovely.
Bena was seen traveling on an island due southwest of Osongo.
Before I go, I have some questions.
Ask away, Hunter.
Ever missed the hunt?
I miss traveling across the archipelago, answering to no one but my empty belly and purse.
He grins out at the city and sighs.
But this is a younger woman's game. Better that I step aside and make way for aspiring killers. Akira?
Akira. Alright. Herity.
Do you seek companionship on your travels across the Deadfire? Why not take a little friend along? We have many animals on offer. All Akira.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company vipers. Take care you are not bitten.
I have information for the Queen.
You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
Guard gestures towards the door, dismissing you. Yes, I have no choice. Ooh.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
The lady in dignitary aims a withering look across the aisle. A middle-aged woman with a square jaw and tar-stained teeth meets it.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
She pulls a slender pipe from her pocket, but at a look from the Queen's attendants, she puts it away.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
A sizable Amuna standing by the throne takes a bold step forward and flares his nostrils at the assembled dignitaries. A hush falls over the room.
I say our guest forgets himself.
He clears his throat and sweeps his gaze from Nero to the rest of the room.
Brother, stand down.
Up to this point, the Queen has studied their proceedings with an even expression. She half rises from her throne as she fixates on Prince Arufi.
You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us.
As Arufi lowers his head, the Queen slowly centers her gaze on you and leaves it there.
An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen.
Though her mouth doesn't move, Osikaza's voice comes to you like an instant memory nestled among your sufferer's thoughts. Nod.
Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves.
Oh, that's lovely. Though she turns to the dignitaries, you feel her attention on you.
This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
The mic screams off. The Queen's voice fills the expanse throne room, leaving you with a hushed silence to fill. If it pleases the court, I've joined from a crippled port mage.
Uck, I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
Raising her hand for silence, Vanessa looks to her brother. He approaches and they exchange a few words too quiet to hear. She lifts her gaze to you once more.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Opens her palms and waits. Possible that Ethos only paused at Hasanga on his way to parts unknown.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
He looks at Adair the way one would look at an especially rabid but fascinating animal.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
Hero crosses his arms, looking distinctly uncomfortable.
Nichese.
Ah.
I'm acquainted with the Watcher of Cadnua from my
Alguina.
assignments in Defiance Bay and Twin Elms.
Diverus? It explains the colorful nature of your reports.
I have seen things with him that are not even told in the most outlandish of sailors' tales.
And I'm supposed to take 2 Valians at their word?
He gestures between Nero and Pelaginia.
How came a Watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court.
I'm here against my will. Quite possibly, yeah. I'm sailing in the shadows of a giant. I could use some help.
At least you've got gumption. Nothing worse than standing around in the middle of a storm.
He glares briefly at the queen.
What are you asking of us?
A fleet. I was told you knew where to find a luminous Adra. I can track him through the Adra famous.
Ah, well, by all means. Let me mark every site of value on your map.
That'd be nice. Thanks.
Acting on this threat would be reckless until we understand it better.
Vanessa doesn't look away from you as she addresses the other dignitaries.
I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hasongo.
Spreads her hands, calmly assured of her reasoning.
Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Gaze wanders back to you only briefly.
Only that Hasongo is a Rawatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
She inclines her chin at another woman standing nearby.
Ma'am?
A composed Anuma stands at attention, her furrowed brow cleaving down otherwise warm features. With her feet, a colourful bird preens itself without concern.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer.
He looks you in the eye and gives you a slow nod.
Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Nice. Maya sights with resignation and nudges her bird effectively with her toe.
And shut us out entirely? We have every right to know of any hazards in these waters. Palagino, go with the Watcher.
Palagino.
See that the Republics are served in this investigation.
Hero turns to the godlike warrior standing off to the side.
Ah, Your Excellency. Hamed Kong Swalias.
Pelagina's golden eyes flash in your direction, but her face betrays no hint of emotion.
That will be enough parading of champions for now. I'm certain that our guest knows how to assemble a crew.
raises her brow and scrutinizes the pair. Ooh, she doesn't like this. Well, can't I take both? Yeah.
Akira, if you can stand the chattering of unlike minds on your ship, that is your prerogative.
Blinks with amusement as she takes note of the look that Maya and Pelaguna exchange.
Oh, good thing I'm already accustomed to cramped quarters and temperamental birds.
We both have our orders. I have no interest in interfering with you as long as you do not interfere with me.
So we want to keep them apart as much as possible.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi?
Arihi rises from her throne and then suddenly guards stand at immediate attention.
Aren't we popular? Take care at Hasongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in.
Second nods to you as she adorns.
And take care
Who's
with your
away?
trading company spies.
He glanced at Maya. Ooh.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else.
He banishes the foreign dignitaries with a swift and unmistakable disgusted wave. Be gone! Be gone. Alright, so we've got two new people. Gunhawk. Gunhawk. So a Gunhawk is just a ranger. He has a gun instead of a bow, I'm gonna assume. Cool. I'll make her a tankety tank as well. Like I say, I could replace her with a deer. You know what I mean? And we'll have to see what they have. So, Maya must be like a sub character here. Yes. Cool. And Pelaguna is. Oh no, they're both companions. Alright, this will be interesting then.
While we have the chance.
Have a chance. Alright. Speak you speak. Alright, okay.
Your coming is a favorable omen already.
Prince nods and crosses his arm, a self-satisfied smile on his lips. Oh, I can speak to him now, that's who it was. Just happy to be alive.
Such modesty, I say. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats.
Well, it's called diplomacy for a reason.
It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies.
Chuckles to himself. Honored to meet you.
Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court.
That means I can kick his ass, right?
I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive.
Trust me to
trusts me to judge this. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked.
Of a loyal service.
My sister keeps a tight grip on Nungata, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet.
He opens his hand for emphasis and wipes it across his shoulder.
Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Rapau for their silence? Take this if you need proof.
Envoy's badge. This medallion once graced the neck of a Felarian dignitary and was assumed lost after a terrible shipwreck. How it ended up in the back streets of Nungata is a question that Prince Aruhi once answered. What is this?
An envoy ship sank a day's voyage out of Nungata. He wore that on his breast. My guards recovered it in a raid of the gullet. This confirms my suspicion. Nungata has a pirate problem.
You can see that. The upper lip curls with distaste.
Smugglers and thieves cluster like rats in Delver's Row, a growth in the bowels of our city.
You think pirates raiding those Republic's bastards be the source of your people's agony? Wonder what the Gullet folk would be thinking of that. Sir,
anyone who preys on my people will know Onikaza's justice in time, I say. I want someone to peddle the medallion to the black market, earn the trust of these pirates, and learn how supplies come into my city.
Why do you need a watcher for inspection duty?
It must take keen senses to peer through the veil.
Thumbs his jaw and nods to himself. Elf sighs.
Others will miss the details that stand out to you, I'm thinking.
When?
It will depend on what you find, I say.
Folds his arms and scrutinises the floor between his feet, deep in thought. Telling the truth, but there's something more in all the thing. He doesn't trust his face not to betray it.
Onikaza leaves this for me to handle. While she worries about the manor, I tidy up the basement.
Tell me what you're holding back.
I say nothing gets past you. Is there any question why I want you for the job? If we dealt only in pirates, then I would put a trusted agent in rags and send him down hiding in a food wagon. But Akira, I have reason to suspect our problem goes deeper than we know. For this, I want an expert. They say you're on familiar terms with Ngati's chosen son, Tekehu.
Maybe.
See that he joins you in the gullet. He knows something of our troubles already.
I wouldn't have thought the lower city appealed to him.
Ikera, I am certain it doesn't. The voyage will be good for him, I say. Be on your guard in the gullet. I fear the caverns run deeper than even Ngati could guess.
The prince dismisses you with a nod. Definitely been there. Oh yeah, trade secrets. Aerial de Lean. Right.
What say? I expect results, Watcher. Have you gotten to the bottom of Delver's Row? If there's curiosity to be satisfied, Akira, I will help.
We should talk about the food shortage in the gullet.
Shortage? Are the Raparu not fed the leavings of the Kwaru and Mataru?
Sponsors have agreed to offer a share of the crops to Nungata as long as a bulk of it goes to the Raparu.
My sister would call this a test from the gods. It is our role to feed the Raparu, and we do not pass on our duties to outsiders.
Thumbs his chin nodding.
But I am of a different mind. Nothing pleases Ngati like an unlikely solution, and this is what you bring. Akira, then let it be so.
Easy.
If you have more to say, I am not above listening.
So I have questions about you.
Akira, both topics I know well.
How does the caste system work in Nungata? Caste.
It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Nungata has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nungata tests our traditions, I say.
Don't you see that as a contradiction?
What man or woman of the Isles does not?
Goes and shakes his head.
Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell.
Oh, wow.
It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit.
Okay, you and Onikaza represent the Kahanga tribe?
Akira,
Kahanga.
as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others.
Ooh, he's quivering there.
I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks.
And you don't seem to think much of the trading companies, nope.
My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice.
Ooh.
But Eora, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
What do you think of your sister's rule?
We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Juana, our burden to appease the gods.
Splits his throat and cranes his neck to tell if anyone is eavesdropping.
In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon.
Okay. Grandis. He was a tall, brown-haired man dressed in full plate mail. That might not normally catch your eye, but his mail is unusual, coloured a deep green and emblazoned with the image of a golden tree. Hand on the pommel of his sword, he watches the crowd go by with keen eyes, relaxed yet fully alert. He narrows his eyes and he spots you.
What do you need of me?
He looks at you warily, as if he's deciding whether you are a snake that might bite.
Well?
Tell me about yourself. He hesitates, unsure of intent. Eyes narrowed, he sees you up, then nods. Interesting armour you have there.
I suppose it is. Are you familiar with the shield bearers of Saint Elka? We are a paladin order.
Brother! Yep.
My brother!
Hey.
I am glad to see a friendly face in this sun-scorched archipelago. I trust you came here on honest work? Well, I needn't hear the details.
Try.
You asked about me, after all.
He clears his throat dramatically.
I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street.
Well, that sucks.
All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really.
Okay, can you teach me something? Yeah, okay. Nope.
As you like.
3,000. You're fucking nice.